The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. The Metamorphosis narrates the story of Gregor Samsa, who awakens one morning transformed into a giant insect. This surreal change isolates Gregor from his family and society, reflecting on themes of alienation, identity, and the absurdity of human existence. Kafka delves into the psychological impact of Gregor's transformation on himself and his family, highlighting the struggles with acceptance and the shifting family dynamics. As Gregor becomes a burden, his family's true nature is revealed, leading to a tragic conclusion. Kafka's work is a profound exploration of the human condition through the lens of an extraordinary and disturbing metamorphosis. Let's deep dive into the book. Gregor Samsa's transformation. The Metamorphosis begins with Gregor Samsa, a traveling salesman, waking up in his bed to discover that he has transformed into a giant insect. Despite his alarming condition, Gregor's first concerns are practical. He worries about his job and the discomfort of his new body. His transformation is described in a matter-of-fact tone, highlighting the surrealism of his situation. Gregor's attempts to leave bed and navigate his room underscore the physical and psychological challenges of his new form, setting the stage for the novel's exploration of alienation and identity. Reaction of the Samsa family. When Gregor's family discovers his transformation, their reactions range from shock and disbelief to horror and revulsion. Initially, they are concerned for Gregor's well-being, but are also worried about the financial instability his condition could cause, as Gregor is the family's sole breadwinner. The family's struggle to accept Gregor's new form introduces themes of isolation and the fragility of familial bonds. Their attempts to care for him, albeit reluctantly, highlight the tension between familial duty and personal disgust. Gregor's adaptation to his new life. Gregor gradually adapts to his insect body, learning to crawl on walls and ceilings. His room becomes both his sanctuary and prison, reflecting his isolation from the human world. Gregor's sister, Greta, takes on the role of his caretaker, feeding him and cleaning his room. This period marks a transient sense of stability, where Gregor clings to his humanity by cherishing memories of his family and his life before the transformation. The dynamics within the Samsa household start to shift as they adjust to the new reality. The family's changing dynamics. As time passes, the burden of Gregor's condition begins to strain the family. They take in 3 lodgers to supplement their income, further relegating Gregor to the margins of the household. The family's initial compassion fades, replaced by resentment and embarrassment. Greta, once sympathetic, grows increasingly indifferent and burdened by Gregor's care. This section illustrates the erosion of Gregor's place within his family and the diminishing hope for his reintegration into human society. Gregor's declining health. Gregor's health deteriorates as his family's neglect intensifies. He eats less, his injuries from being mistreated worsen, and he becomes more withdrawn. The stark contrast between Gregor's weakening condition and his family's adaptation to life without him underscores the novel's themes of alienation and the disposability of individuals. Gregor's diminishing health mirrors his fading significance to his family and his gradual loss of human identity. The climactic confrontation. The climax of the story occurs when the lodgers, having discovered Gregor's existence, threaten to leave without paying rent, citing the unsanitary conditions. This confrontation forces the Samsa family to confront the reality of Gregor's presence and its impact on their lives. In a moment of desperation and frustration, Greta declares that they must rid themselves of it, referring to Gregor as an object rather than her brother. This moment epitomizes the complete breakdown of familial bonds and marks the point of no return for Gregor's place in the family. Gregor's realization and death. Following the confrontation, Gregor retreats to his room, deeply internalizing his sister's rejection. He recognizes the burden he has become to his family and, in a final act of self-sacrifice, dies alone in his room. Gregor's death is quiet and unceremonious, reflecting the complete erasure of his identity and humanity. His family discovers his dead body the next morning, reacting with a mixture of relief and sorrow. The family's new beginning. Gregor's death marks a turning point for the Samsa family. They immediately rid the house of the lodgers and take a day off to go for a walk, something they haven't done since Gregor's transformation. This act symbolizes the beginning of a new chapter in their lives, free from the burden of caring for Gregor. The family discusses their financial situation, realizing they are not as destitute as they feared, and they begin to make plans for the future with a renewed sense of hope and freedom. Reflections on Gregor's life and legacy. In the aftermath of Gregor's death, the family reflects on the events that have transpired. They acknowledge the hardship and suffering Gregor endured, but also recognize the freedom his sacrifice has afforded them. This section reveals the complex emotions surrounding Gregor's transformation and death, including guilt, relief, and the painful acknowledgement of their own neglect and failure to understand him. Conclusion and moving forward. The story concludes with the Samsa family looking towards the future with optimism. They recognize the need to move on from the tragedy of Gregor's life and death, focusing on the possibilities that lie ahead. The novel ends with the family contemplating moving to a smaller, more affordable apartment, symbolizing their desire to leave behind the past and start anew. Despite the tragedy that befell Gregor, his transformation ultimately leads to a rebirth for his family, highlighting the novel's exploration of change, sacrifice, and the fluid nature of human relationships. Let's explore together the main themes and concepts of the book. Alienation and isolation. The Metamorphosis deeply explores the theme of alienation and isolation, following Gregor Samsa's transformation into an insect. This physical metamorphosis becomes a stark symbol of Gregor's emotional and social detachment from his family and society. Kafka illustrates how Gregor's alienation is not only a result of his grotesque form, but also reflects his pre-transformation life as a traveling salesman, where he felt disconnected from human relationships and personal fulfillment. The narrative delves into the profound loneliness that accompanies being misunderstood and ostracized, highlighting the existential dread of isolation in a seemingly indifferent world. Identity and humanity. Kafka probes the fluidity of identity and what it means to be human through Gregor's transformation. Gregor's struggle to cling to his humanity, despite his insect body, raises questions about the essence of human identity. The story scrutinizes how external appearances impact self-perception and the perception of others. Despite retaining his human thoughts and emotions, Gregor's physical change leads to a loss of his human identity in the eyes of his family, suggesting that identity is often contingent upon physical form and societal acceptance, rather than internal consciousness or moral character. Family dynamics and responsibilities. The book presents a complex picture of family dynamics and responsibilities, revealing how Gregor's condition strains familial bonds. Initially, Gregor's role as the breadwinner defines his relationship with his family, but his transformation shifts these dynamics, exposing underlying tensions and the conditional nature of familial support. Kafka illustrates the burden of responsibility and the expectations placed on individuals within a family unit, questioning the sincerity of familial obligations when faced with adversity. The Samsa family's eventual rejection of Gregor underscores the theme of conditional love and the fragility of family ties under economic and social pressures. The absurdity of existence. Kafka's narrative is imbued with the theme of existential absurdity, highlighting the randomness and unpredictability of life. Gregor's unexplained transformation serves as a metaphor for life's inherent absurdity, where individuals are subjected to arbitrary trials that challenge their sense of purpose and place in the world. The story reflects on the human condition and the search for meaning in an indifferent universe, suggesting that individuals must navigate a sense of existential disorientation and the absurdity of striving within a chaotic and unfathomable reality. Dehumanization and society. The Metamorphosis symbolizes the dehumanization that individuals can experience within capitalist societies, where personal value is often equated with economic productivity. Gregor's transformation renders him unable to work, leading to his devaluation and eventual abandonment by his family, who view him more as a burden than a beloved member. Kafka critiques the dehumanizing aspects of modern work and societal expectations, where individuals are reduced to their functional roles. This theme reflects broader concerns about the loss of individuality and humanity under the pressures of economic efficiency and societal conformity. Let's talk about the author. Franz Kafka was a Bohemian writer of novels and short stories, most renowned for his exploration of complex themes such as existential angst, alienation, and the absurdity of modern life. Born in Prague, then part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, Kafka wrote in German and is considered one of the 20th century's most influential authors. His works, including The Metamorphosis, The Trial, and The Castle, delve into the struggles of individuals against vast, impersonal, and often incomprehensible systems of power. Kafka's writing is characterized by surreal, nightmarish settings and protagonists in inscrutable predicaments that reflect the human condition's fragility and perplexity. Despite a relatively small output, Kafka's profound impact on literature endures, embodying the existentialist movement and continuing to resonate with readers and scholars alike. Sincere thanks for watching. If you have any feedbacks or book requests, make sure to leave a comment. If this book summary has been helpful, consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. Regardless, I wish you a great day.